In a time long before the Roman legions marched across the world, before the marble statues and grand amphitheaters, there was only a land of humble beginnings. The Italian Peninsula, rich in its diversity of peoples and cultures, was a place where history's most remarkable story was about to unfold. It is the 8th century BCE. The Latin people, a small tribe of shepherds and farmers, have made their home in a region known as Latium. This area, nestled among the rolling hills and crossed by the winding Tiber River, seemed ordinary, but within its borders lay a village that would soon change the course of history, a village destined to become Rome. The origins of Rome are wrapped in legend. According to ancient tales, there were two brothers, Romulus and Remus, who were the grandsons of Numitor, the rightful king of the nearby city of Alba Longa. Their story begins in tragedy, as they were abandoned as infants, left to the mercy of the elements. But fate had other plans. The gods themselves seemed to intervene, sending a she-wolf to find the infants and nurse them in a cave known as the Lupercal. This miraculous survival is where the legend begins, setting the stage for the rise of Rome. As the brothers grew, so did their ambition. They eventually discovered their true heritage and sought to reclaim their grandfather's throne. Overthrowing their treacherous uncle Amulius, they restored Numitor to power. But Romulus and Remus had a grander vision. They would found a new city, a city of their own, on the very spot where they had been saved by the she-wolf. However, the unity of their vision did not last. The brothers quarreled over where to build their city. In a moment that would echo through the ages, Romulus struck down Remus, and thus Rome was born under the shadow of fratricide. Romulus became the first king of Rome, giving his name to the city and setting it on a path that would lead to greatness. In the early years of Romulus's reign, Rome was little more than a collection of huts on the Palatine Hill, surrounded by marshes and forests. But under Romulus and the kings who followed, Rome began to grow. Each king brought something new, a law, a temple, or a military innovation that would build upon the last. These early monarchs were more than rulers. They were the architects of Rome's identity, laying the foundation for what would become one of the most powerful civilizations in history. The Roman kingdom lasted from 753 BCE to 509 BCE, a period marked by both prosperity and conflict. These were the years when Rome began to assert itself, first among its neighbors in Latium, and then against rival cities and tribes across the Italian Peninsula. The kings of Rome, particularly figures like Numa Pompilius and Tullus Hostilius, expanded Rome's religious institutions and military might, turning the city into a formidable power. But Rome's future was not destined to be shaped by kings alone. In 509 BCE, a turning point came. The last king of Rome, Tarquin the Proud, was a tyrant whose arrogance and cruelty sparked a revolt. The people of Rome, led by noblemen like Lucius Junius Brutus, rose up against their king and overthrew him. With his fall, the Roman Republic was born, a new form of government that would become the cornerstone of Roman greatness. The Republic was not a democracy as we know it today, but it was revolutionary for its time. Power was no longer concentrated in the hands of a single ruler. Instead, it was shared among elected officials and the Senate, a body of Roman aristocrats who would guide the Republic's policies. This new system of governance emphasized civic duty, military discipline, and the rule of law, principles that would define Rome for centuries. As the Republic grew, so did Rome's ambition. Through a combination of military prowess, strategic alliances, and the assimilation of conquered peoples, Rome expanded beyond its borders. By the 3rd century BCE, Rome had established control over much of the Italian peninsula, but this was only the beginning. Rome's gaze soon turned outward across the seas toward new lands and greater challenges. One of the most significant of these challenges came in the form of Carthage, a powerful city-state on the coast of North Africa. The clash between Rome and Carthage, known as the Punic Wars, would become legendary. These wars, fought from 264 BCE to 146 BCE, were brutal and decisive. The defeat of Carthage, especially after the destruction of the city in the Third Punic War, marked Rome's emergence as the dominant power in the Mediterranean, a title it would hold for centuries. But the story of Rome's rise is not just about battles and conquests. It is also a story of resilience, innovation, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. From the humble village by the Tiber River, through the trials of kings and the struggles of the Republic, Rome was forged into an empire that would leave an indelible mark on history, shaping the world we know today.